Hello and welcome to MarketSquare, your go-to show for deep insights into business and economic trends. I'm Olaitan Adebayo. Today we turn our attention to a critical development that has left thousands of Nigerians in financial distress: the collapse of CBEX digital investment platform. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. Let's get straight into it. CBEX rose to prominence almost overnight, promising unusually high returns and showcasing countless testimonials on social media. Thousands of Nigerians invested their money only to find themselves locked out when the platform froze users' accounts. In response, the Securities and Exchange Commission has confirmed that CBEX was neither registered nor authorized to operate in Nigeria, raising serious concerns about regulatory oversight and investor protection. Joining us now to provide expert analysis is Oluwapelumi Awe, an economic analyst and expert on financial regulations. Thank you for being here, Pelumi.
It's so good to be on MarketSquare, and thank you for having me.
To begin with, Pelumi, can you help us understand what CBEX was offering and why it attracted so many investors? What made the platform so convincing? Because for many people to invest all their life savings, what actually prompted them to do that?
When it has to do with Ponzi schemes, Nigerians are not new to Ponzi schemes at all. Remember that in 2016, 2017, the name on everyone's lips was MMM. MMM everywhere. You find them on your street, putting on their verse. You find representatives in churches advertising that Ponzi scheme. And when it crashed, over 3 million Nigerians lost their money to that scheme in 2017. And then you had Twinkers, you had Givers Forum, you had iCharity, you had Get Help Worldwide, and others that have appeared over the years. So Ponzi scheme is not something new to Nigerians. And the idea of CBEX, they all have the same template pretty much. The idea is invest in our business, invest in this scheme, and you will get 100% of your returns sometimes within a week, sometimes within a month. You get 100% of your investment. Yeah. For CBEX, it was launched in July 2024 with Nigerians also plugging into that. People who plugged in were encouraged to refer others, and that referral comes with bonuses and sometimes even with rewards. And so if you put all of that together before an average Nigerian, you can already be sure that he's going to jump on that particular scheme. And so many Nigerians plugged into that scheme at the instance of many of the enticing offers. And that has now landed many in trouble. I am aware that some people put in their the money they should have used to pay for certain important things. They put it in the system and then it crashed. And the idea of Ponzi scheme is pretty much simple. It's that you have some people putting their money first into that scheme, and then those guys who put in their money first are promised that they're going to get a returns within a particular period of time. Before that time elapses, some other new investors would have put in their monies, and then when they put in their money, they then take from the new investors and pay the old investors. And that's how it works. It's a cycle. And so the ones who are now new investors now become old when new investors come on board, and they also get paid by new investors. So it's a scheme that ensures that you are entrapped, but it's a scheme that is designed to fail. And that is what CBEX is. And I can almost say to you that there will be more that will come in years to come. And I'm guessing you're going to ask me questions around what to do about that. But I can promise that there are going to be more schemes like that in years to come. And we just have to be ready to fight that when it happens. Yeah.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, stories like this are not just new, because that's why repeated cases of Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. Many people still continue to fall victim. One viral video about this CBEX issue was about a woman who worked tirelessly in Libya, imagine, only to return home and invested all her savings and even had to borrow from her friends just to put into CBEX, all for just 100% returns. I will also imagine how she will be feeling right now, what the story will be right now. But in light of this, what are the proper regulatory channels that legitimate investment platform must follow to operate legally in Nigeria? Pelumi.
I guess one of the first things that has to happen is that the body has to be registered with SEC, okay, with the Securities and Exchange Commission in Nigeria. This body has been given the power and mandate to ensure orderly and equitable dealings in securities, and also to protect the market against insider trading abuses. And part of the responsibility is to regulate the market. So as to be on the safe side, these guys have to go to SEC and register with SEC. And some people even say that they have to most likely have a CAC, register with the government as touching Corporate Affairs Commission and all. But SEC seems to be one platform, one body put together by the government to ensure that there is a regulation. And once a body has been registered with SEC, and of course, before SEC approves of a particular platform, a lot of underground work will be done, a lot of due diligence will be done by the government to make sure that the platform is a platform that can survive the test of time, can house people's income, can house people's money, and will pay out when it's time. So when a platform is registered with SEC, investors can be rest assured that if anything goes wrong, you can hold SEC responsible, because this body got registered under you. And it was because they were registered under you, that's why we were able to, we found solace, we found some level of belief in investing in that particular company.
This is very important, given that many believe that CBEX was actually registered with EFCC, which actually turned out to be misleading. The registration was just reportedly for fund movement and not for investment authorization. Even the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission has confirmed that CBEX was not licensed by this commission. He also mentioned that steps are being taken to hold the operators accountable. They're even actually merge with the Interpol to make sure that those that are in charge of the CBEX are held accountable. With the recent enactment of the Investment and Securities Act 2025, how does this legislation enhance investor protection, particularly in cases like CBEX? What role does the SEC now play in preventing responding to Ponzi-like schemes, Pelumi?
There is no better time for the Investment and Security Acts in Nigeria to be signed than a time when a lot of Nigerians are crying. Because before now, I do not think that SEC had the power enough to be able to regulate the market as they should have been doing before now. But the new ISA 2025 ensures that SEC now has the apex regulatory authority to regulate the market, to ensure that there is capital formation, there's also enough protection of investors, and also brings about maintenance of fair and effectual, efficient and effectual, transparent market, and also helps to reduce a lot of systemic risk there, just like having a screen guard on your phone, making sure that there is an extra layer of security on your phone. And that also applies to the investment space there, when it also helps to ensure that platforms like CBEX don't have that enough power to sway Nigerians anymore, because it's a good time for Nigerians to be aware that the government is thinking about them. And so what this does to the market is people are now more careful, people are now more mostly careful and also confident that SEC has got their back. And it's something we've been clamoring for before now, that the government should allocate a level of authority to the SEC to be able to do some things regards to regulating the market to the maximum. And so I'm saying that platforms like Ponzi schemes now may not strive as they used to strive. If we have the next one happen, I know if there's going to be another one, most likely, that will come in a different form. And now that SEC has not been given the authority, they are more able to regulate. I think I just wanted to make sure that this is more relatable to what has happened so far, so good. But there are other things to it. But for the layman, ISA is at best a newborn baby that has come as a savior, most likely. Yeah, for subsequent CBEXs.
Hopefully, this new act, which you describe as a newborn baby, will help protect the next Ponzi scheme, because many people will still fall victim when the next Ponzi scheme comes up. You know, for many victims, the outbreak was not just about losing money. It was not knowing how to verify if the platform was safe to begin with. So I ask you now, what steps can everyday Nigerians take to verify whether an investment platform is properly registered and regulated? Are there steps that can be taken?
And this is a good question you have asked as a follow-up to what I said about the new Investment and Securities Act. How can Nigerians verify an investment platform that the platform is duly registered and also is also duly regulated? I think it's also to check the Securities and Exchange Commission sites to be sure that platform, that investment platform is registered with SEC. Once you are able to do that, then the next thing is now to do your due diligence to see if the returns they aligns with what it is that you can deal with. I think when the platform is registered with SEC, what that does is you have a bit of insurance as provided by how much you trust in SEC to be able to guard you. And now that SEC has now been given the power and the right to be able to regulate the market to the maximum, where there is pretty much no limit to what they can do with regards to regulating the market, it's a good place for you to check if a particular investment platform is the right place to put your money. But again, they can only let you know about how legitimate the platform is. They cannot most likely define the profit margin. They cannot most likely regulate the profit margin. What they can only do there is to make sure that profit sharing is fair and is also that the system is also efficient.
That's such a key point, Pelumi. As you've mentioned, many people don't know where to look or what questions to ask. Hopefully, this insight you provided today will help them approach future investments more cautiously. Moving on to the financial literacy level, considering how many young people and first-time investors were affected by this CBEX, what is currently being done or what more can be done to improve financial literacy across the country?
What is being done to improve financial literacy among young and first-time investors? I'm aware that what the government has done so far so good is first to be able to reach out to influencers, letting them know that they should not influence the publicity of a platform that has not been verified, has not been certified, has not been registered with the government, because that is going most likely to backfire. And we've seen that happen over and over again. We had MMM back in the day, 2016. I was still in school at the time, and I saw how that in my school you had people parade, put on their vests. I saw some students in my class at the time, they put on vests. I had MMM on it, and you had some of them who go to churches to advertise that. So what can be done is pretty much a reminder. If you're a Christian, the Bible says faith comes by hearing. And so education also comes by hearing. You want to, because repetition helps retention. Repetition helps retention. All right. And so the point is, a lot of advert has to be done. A lot of NGO work, some NGOs need to be empowered now with some level of wisdom that can come or help them to go to different places and slot in ideas around financial literacy. How beyond just having to know how to know what investment not to put your money in, is to empower them with the idea about how to save their money. The idea that you have to save before you consume. You don't consume before you save. You save before you consume. Okay, you save and consume the rest. It's just an idea. Many persons don't understand this. It's not enough. It's not enough. If you keep spending all you have, you will be poor for sure. And then when things like this come, you will not have any other option than to put in your money because you want to get more for little. So I think a lot of work has to be done. The media will play a major role in this regard. The media will play a major role in this regard. And I'm hoping that banks could also help make that also possible. Now, to young investors, make sure that the platform is registered with the government. Make sure that you check if it's short term, medium term, and long term. And let me just say this as a fact: there is no investment in this world. There is no investment scheme in this world that a true investment scheme that will promise you 100% returns on your investment within 1 week. I have not seen. Even real estate, you have to wait for some years. There is no investment bundle in this world that will give you 100% of the amount you have invested within 1 week. I don't think it's possible. And so you have to be careful of wanting to get so much in so little time. Yeah.
Okay, you've heard that, people. No investment can offer 100% return, and you should know this by now. You also mentioned earlier that CBEX rise was aided by influencers, celebrities, and bloggers who endorsed this. Do you think those public figures who promoted CBEX should be held accountable?
Well, over the years, we've seen celebrities represent some brands that eventually collapse, and we've seen that happen again and again. I think I remember one person whose name I don't want to mention. She was a frontier for a particular platform, and the platform crashed. I think it was a real estate platform, and it did crash. And she was crying on social media. Don't hold me responsible. I did not know that this was what was happening, and all of that. I think celebrities should now be responsible, because many of these guys get money before they're able to do this advert. So you have some brands, popular comedians, who then say, they will do particular, they will act something on the screen, they act something, and then they will now slot in happy birthday to Mr. Pelumi, happy birthday to Mr. Oluwapelumi Awe. They've been paid, and so many of them have been paid to carry out this advert. And if you're going to carry out an advert and the platform collapses, you should be held responsible for what it is that you have done. I think our celebrities need to do more than just doing stuff for money. I subscribe to the idea that they should be held responsible, because if they get to be held responsible, they will. I promise you, they will do their due diligence before they plug into anything that comes on the table. And again, about how to draw the line between marketing and enabling fraud is to do your due diligence. For as long as you speak for a particular brand, you vouch for them, know that whatever happens, you will be held responsible for that. You will be held responsible for making bold claims. Okay, you'll be held responsible because you carry some level of influence. Yes, I hope I've been able to hint on that. I don't know what you think about this. Do you think they should be held responsible? But I think they should be held responsible and accountable as well.
To answer your question, Pelumi, I totally agree. Influencers have real power because many people trust their favorite personalities, their favorite person, and make financial decisions based on their endorsements. Sadly, most of these influencers never even put the money into the schemes that they promote. And the SEC has now even warned that every influencers and celebrities will be held responsible for promoting unverified investment schemes. And hopefully, this will prompt them to conduct proper due diligence before endorsing any platform. Thank you so much, Pelumi, for sharing your insight with us today. And to our viewer, thank you for joining us. That concludes our segment on the CBEX investment platform. Always stay informed and remember, due diligence is the key before putting your money anywhere. I'm Oluwapelumi Awe, and this is MarketSquare. See you next time.